Hey guys, Dustin Nichols here, NWMO Fishing. Today I'm gonna show you guys how I tie my bumping rigs. So this is gonna be for you big river guys that fish a lot of current, you bumping guys, Mississippi, Missouri rivers, stuff like that. Traditionally I'll run two different kinds of bumping rigs. I'll run one with a float and one without, and also I'll run a double hook rig and a single hook rig. Today we're just going to be tying single hook rigs. So all right, we'll go through what you're going to need. Obviously a pair of scissors, your hook of choice. Mine is a D85 from Diachi. I like to use, you don't have to use these, but I like to use these sinker snaps. I prefer a three-way swivel like this one. This is a tournament grade 1/0 from Hooker's Terminal Tackle. I get them from Tackle Bandit. It's a great swivel, works perfect for what I need. And a ball swivel. That's from Hooker's Terminal Tackle as well. Leader line, I've got my 80-pound heavy covers from Slime Line, and then I use just a cheaper Walmart line. 30-pound test is my go-to. I'll show you what that's for here in a second. So first thing you're going to do is you want to cut off a long piece of leader line. You're not going to use all this, but I usually cut it extremely long. As you can see, it's about 3.5 foot, maybe closer to 4. But what I do is I take my hook and I snell like you normally would. I'm going to do a quick snell on this. For those of you that don't know how to do that, leave a comment in the comment section and I'll do a video on that. I do a kind of a lazy man snell. It's a lot quicker for me, a lot easier, and works just as good as the traditional snell. So as you can see, that was quick. There's the snell. Quick and easy. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roundabout decide how long I want my leader line. In my case, I like mine fairly long, so I'm going to figure about 2 foot for a leader line is what I want. I'm going to go about 1/3 of the way down on that. Okay, so I've got about 18 inches left over. I'm just going to clip that down 1/3 of the way. Then I'm going to take my ball and chain swivel. The reason I started using these is I've found that in that heavy current, you know, your baits get down there and just spin and flop, and 9 times out of 10, if you like to run a longer dropper line for your weight like I do, you'll find that you end up with a tangled up mess. So tie your ball and chain, and I'm just using typical fisherman's knot, clinch knot, whatever you want to call it. Cut your tag end off there. Okay, so now at this point we have a hook, about an 18-inch leader, and a ball swivel. Now we are going to tie the remainder of the leader line that we cut off to start with onto the other end of our ball swivel. And I'm going to use all clinch knots today, just improved clinch knots, whatever you want to call them. Fisherman's knot, probably the first knot you ever learned when you started fishing. It's never failed me. I love it, so I still use it. Okay, so there we go. So now you can see we're back to our extremely long leader. Now I take my 3-way swivel. Now this is where a lot of this is personal preference. I'll show you what I like to do when I'm bumping. Okay, when I'm bumping, I don't know if you guys can see that, I like to run main line, leader line, so that you're in line like a traditional swivel, and my dropper off of here. Okay, now if I was dragging baits, I would do it the opposite way. I would do it main line, dropper line, leader line. But I'm bumping, so I want my leader in line with my my fishing line back to my reel. So that's what I like. Doesn't mean you have to do it. I don't honestly think there's any right or wrong way. Another thing is the side that I put my dropper off of, I like closer to my main line. I'll show you why here in a second. Okay, so I'm going to tie my leader. Once again, it's just an improved clinch knot, fisherman's knot. Okay, there's that. If you guys hear screaming, kids are all jumping on the trampoline right now. All right, so that's where we're at so far. We have our swivel, three-way swivel, quite a bit of leader to a ball swivel, more leader to our snelled hook, okay? Now, this is where the cheap Walmart 30-pound test line comes in. And once again, this is personal preference. You guys can do whatever you want to do. The method to the madness on this one for me is when I'm bumping, 99.9% of the time, if I get hung up, it's my weight, okay? So this 30-pound test line is just easier for me to break, I guess. So that's why I use it. And I'm going to cut off about 20 inches to 2 foot of that. This is kind of personal preference once again. Okay, now my dropper line, remember, is going to go off this second swivel on the three-way. So I'm going to run it right through there, like so. Generally what I do is early season when the water's still cold. If you guys are like me, the sooner you can start bumping, the better. I'm probably out there bumping a little sooner than I need to be as far as water temperature. But it's like my favorite way to fish, so I test the waters pretty early. But another nice little trick is to run a double hook rig. You know, you're floating baits at that point at 2 different depths, and then you can kind of pick out from there what the fish want. That's especially effective if you have somebody with you bumping, because then you can both start running the same length, so you're running the same depth. So on this rig, I'm going to run about 15 inches for my dropper, and then I'm just going to tie. This is where I'm probably a little different. I'm going to go straight to my snap, and I'm going to tie it directly into my dropper line. Same kind of knot. This is 30-pound test. Hopefully, in a perfect world, when you get hung up, the line will break. Yes, you're going to lose a weight, but you're not going to lose your whole rig. Okay, there's a finished product. So main line, when we're ready to tie it on, is going to go right here on this one. Then you can see it runs back all the way back to our ball swivel. When it's all done, I like my dropper line with my weight to be, I don't know if you guys can see that, about 2/3 or half the way down my bait line. I like a long leader when I bump. I've just always been that way. It's been a pretty good method for me. So hope this helped you guys. I'm going to try to put some more videos out, but let me know in the comments section if there's anything you'd really like to see or anything like that. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.